Well, it's time for the Greek verse of the week. And this week I have chosen Luke 2:15, which is the shepherds basically saying they need to go to Bethlehem. The heavenly hosts have appeared to them, and the angels have sung glory to God in the highest, and on earth peace to those of God's good pleasure. And so here's what the shepherds say in response. And it came to pass as they were going away from them. Who? As the angels were going away from them. Now, angels is way back here. It's way at the end before the comma. And yet it's the subject of they went away. So and it came to pass as the angels went away. Now, if you've never studied another language, and especially if you've never studied Greek, you might be really surprised. Wait a minute. How can angels be the subject of they went away when it's way, way down here? And the answer is because Greek does not work on the basis of the word order primarily in the way that English does. You have to fly by the instruments. So the instruments hoi angeloi here tell me that this is nominative masculine plural. Nominative means in this case it's the subject of apelthen, of this clause. Apelthen is the verb, elthon, which means they went away. So I have to, in my English translation, I'm going to have to bring angels forward into my translation. And it came to pass as the angels went away from them into the sky, comma. Okay, so let me read the Greek. I know some people like to hear the Greek. Kai ageneto hos apelthon, apauton, eis ton uranon, hoi angeloi. Okay, that's the first part of this sentence. Ageneta is from a verb called ginomai, and it undergoes a vowel change when it's moving from the present to, this is actually called the aorist tense. We might say, in this case, just to oversimplify things, that the aorist is saying it happened. Ginomai means to become, and in this case, it's something like it became, or it came to pass. The epsilon is called an augment. It's a hint that this is aorist. The main way I know this is aorist is because I've memorized gen as the aorist form of this verb ginomai. To is a third person singular ending. To tells me it's indicative. It's not. It's making a statement. So putting it all together, this is aorist deponent indicative, third singular from ginomai. Deponent means it looks passive, but it's not. Gin, oh my, it's deponent. When a word has oh my in its dictionary form, that means it's a fake. It looks passive, but it's active. Or at least we're going to translate it actively. It's a strange thing that Greek does, but languages are weird, aren't they? So, and it came to pass as they went away. This is also aorist. The elth, again, these are both irregular aorist. We call them second aorist. The elth in the middle tells me that this is aorist from erchomai, or more correctly, from op erchomai, to go away. If erchomai means to go, op erchomai means to go away. On is a third plural ending, active. So this is aorist active, indicative, third plural from op erchomai. They went away. And I already said that angels is the subject. They went away from them, from the shepherds, into the sky or into the heaven. Same thing for them. Hoi poimenes elalun pros alelus. As the angels went away from them into the sky, the shepherds were speaking to one another. Okay, elalun is from laleo, and the e of laleo crashes into a very similar own ending here, and with epsilons crash into omicrons. Ooh, that's interesting. And then augment again, telling me that this is an aorist indicative in this particular, well, actually it's not aorist indicative, sorry. This is built off of laleo. It's built off the present stem. When you slap an augment on the present stem of a verb, it's called the imperfect tense. It implies a kind of continuous past thing. So they were talking. Or probably this is an inceptive imperfect, something like they began to talk to one another. That can be a thing. Anyway, it's intermediate grammar, the kind of nuances of the tenses. So they began to speak to one another, or they were speaking to each other as they went away. to one another. Alleluia is a particular kind of pronoun. It's called a reciprocal pronoun. It's the one another pronoun. There's only one word that is the reciprocal pronoun, and it's alleluia. Only has three forms, believe it or not, and that's a good thing. This is accusative, masculine, plural. All right, so here's a quote. So I've used a different Greek here, a different Greek source, and this particular Greek source, as many do, capitalizes quotes. So this capital delta is the beginning of a quotation. So here's what they began to talk to one another, and what did they say? They said, "Di elthomen de heos Bethlehem, kai idomen to rema tuto to gegonos ho kurios egnorisen hemin." Okay, I got carried away, read the whole thing. So di elthomen is, well, let me just tell you what, you start with what's easy to recognize, and then you move toward what you have to think a little bit more about. So this men, when it's at the very end, o, ace, a, amen, eta, usi, it's a first person plural. It's we. It points to a subject that's we. And then the omega right before the men, that's a long vowel. It's like it's been fried. Same thing here, idomen. So this is a subjunctive. Indicative verbs have short vowels before their endings. Again, there are always exceptions. It's why Greek people run and jump out of windows often. Not Greek, but Greek people learning New Testament Greek. So this is a first person plural subjunctive. And that can be a particular kind of conjunctive. We call it a hortatory subjunctive, or when I was in England, hortatory subjunctive. But anyway, a hortatory subjunctive is a lettuce subjunctive. I had salad for supper, by the way, and lunch. Anyway, so it's a lettuce subjunctive. Let us go. It's a kind of command, a first person plural command of sorts. Elf is the same as Aelth. It is the aorist of Urkamai, except this was op Urkamai. This is de Urkamai, to go through. Although let's just translate it, let us go. Coming through, going to Bethlehem. So this is a hortatory subjunctive, first person plural subjunctive, aorist, active subjunctive, first plural from de Urkamai, let us go. Let us go day. Let us go indeed. This is kind of like a let us go ho. It's a kind of explanation or intensifier, let us go, doch, heos Bethlehem, as far as Bethlehem. Kai idomen, this is also, see the ending, this is also a first person plural subjunctive, a hortatory subjunctive, a lettuce subjunctive. Id is the aorist of either horao or blepo, depending on, they both mean to see, so it's let us see. Aorist, active, indicative, first plural from horao, let's say. So let us go indeed into Bethlehem, and let us see the word this word. This word. Now, rhema is a spoken word. Logos is a word for word that is often a little bit more abstract. A rhema word is a more verbal kind of word, because the angels have just been talking. So that's why rhema is used here. Don't overdo it with rhema. I mean, there are some charismatics who mystify rhema. I think that's overreading it. It's just not that special of a word. I'm speaking rhemata right now. Anyway, this word, ho geganos, the having come to pass word. Believe it or not, geganos is another version of ginomai. We saw egenato, we saw that over here. That was the aorist of ginomai. This is the perfect of ginomai, perfect participle of ginomai. It's the article tells us the having come to be word, the word that has come to be, and it's still here, perfect tense. The reduplication here on the front is an indication of it being perfect. It's irregular though. I mean, it's undergone another vowel change. We've gone from iota in the present to epsilon in the future and aorist to an omicron in the perfect. It's just a weird, irregular word. So this is a perfect active participle, nominative neuter. The article never lies. This is a neuter article, singular from ginomai. So let us see this word that has come to be. All of that comes out of this here. Greek is interesting. That, now this is a relative pronoun. This is, so doing an article, the word the, on a participle is one way to come up with a relative clause. What word are we talking about? The one that has come to be. Another way to do a relative clause is with a relative pronoun. That's the way we do it in English. The word that, also neuter because it agrees, also singular because it agrees, but it takes, it's probably accusative because of a relative pronoun takes the case of its function in its own clause. And in its own clause, the Lord is the subject. This is nominative masculine singular. Ho kurios egnorisen hemin. Notice that the article the and the relative pronoun that look very similar. The only difference is the neuter form of the word that has an accent, and this is actually masculine of the word the. So Greek is confusing, but this is one of those few times where the accent is important to notice. That the Lord made known to us. This, it's not perfect. It's actually aorist. Sen, if you've been paying attention to these videos, is a aorist active indicative third singular ending. Just those three letters tell me it's aorist active indicative third singular. From gnoridzo, to make known. And the augment confirms that it's aorist. So the has is not a perfect kind of has where it stays known. This is just a blah aorist. It happened. The Lord he's done it. He's made it known, period. And then to us is a personal pronoun. It's dative plural. Doesn't distinguish gender. Okay, a lot of grammar. I'm sorry. Hebrew's much easier. So, and it came to pass as the angels went away from them into the sky, the shepherds were speaking to one another, quote, let us go indeed unto Bethlehem, and let us see this word that has come to pass, that the Lord has made known to us. That's our Greek verse for the week.